Welcome to Midweek 5. I wonder how your prayer life is going this week. Over the last few weeks, we've been working through the Lord's Prayer to help us to grow in prayer. I actually know for myself that having to prepare these messages has helped my personal prayer life. Certainly this last week, I've been much more aware of God's Father heart towards me. Father, may your name be honoured, it says in Luke 11:2. The old versions, may hallowed be your name. Hallowed doesn't mean much in terms of our language today, but it's the version I actually grew up with. And if I was to recite the Lord's Prayer today, it's probably the version that would come to mind. Some other translations say, may your name be kept holy. They're all trying to say the same thing, and we're going to stick with may your name be honoured today as we just unpack this a little bit. And we have this tension here. There's an intimacy that we talked about last week of calling God Father. But then there's the need to come to God with reverence. It's sort of not one or the other. We have this amazing privilege that we can come to God as His children and in simple childlike faith, just as we are with no pretense. And yet we're also to remember who God is. He's not our equal. He's not my mate. He is the Almighty God. Now, for those people in the ancient world, the idea of name was different from how we think of name. My name is Keith, but the word Keith doesn't sum up my character or person. I think Keith is a Scottish word. I think it means woodcutter. We have a heat pump at home. I haven't cut wood for years. It doesn't sum up who I am. So when it says, may your name be honoured, it's far more than just sort of knowing that God's name is Jehovah. To honour God's name is to be aware of and in awe of the character of God. Matthew's longer version of the prayer, Father in heaven, may your name be honoured, sort of picks us up. Because when we say Father in heaven, it reminds us of God's greatness as the God of the heavens. To honour God's name is to obey the first three commandments. Have no other gods but God, don't make idols, don't misuse God's name. So a number of different words used in the Bible for reverence towards God. I don't have time to go into all of them, but they all have slightly varied meanings. It can mean to be in awe or fear of God. It can mean to come in humility before God, recognizing who He is. It can mean to bow down before Him. Now we honour God's name as we obey Him, as we treat with respect and honour His creation, and as we treat with honour our fellow believers. It's all ways that we honour God, or actually how we can dishonour God. When we sing songs like How Great Is Our God, we're honouring God with our voice. So just as I talked about last week, songs can help us be aware of the Father heart of God, so other songs can help us come into that place of awe and reverence for God. I personally find that worship songs can help me enter into a time of prayer, both with that awareness of the Father heart of God, but also an awareness of God's greatness. But of course, we can also have a false reverence towards God. We can sing songs, but it doesn't reflect our heart. We can have an outward appearance of honouring God, but it's a show. That's what Jesus got really angry about with the religious leaders. He blasted them for this outward show of appearing to honour God, but actually their hearts were hard to God. To pray, God, may your name be honoured, is to pray God, asking God to help recognise who God really is. I mean, if we saw God face to face, we would fall flat on our faces in awe. If we could really grasp and see God, it would be transforming. God, help us to grasp your greatness, your glory, your love. Help me to see you as you really are. In honesty, most of us have an exalted view of ourselves and an inadequate view of God. To pray, Father, may your name be honoured, is also praying, God, may my life honour who you really are. I submit all of my life to you. Typically in our prayer, and I do the same thing at times, is we want to get to the bit about give us this day our daily bread. God, we want your provision now. We've got this long shopping list of things we want God to provide. But the model prayer that Jesus starts out with these twin truths. We're loved children of God, we're welcomed into his presence, and we're talking to the almighty, all-powerful, awesome God of the universe, to whom the only response is one of submission and obedience. When we begin our prayer dwelling on these two truths, then it can radically alter our prayer life. May God bless you.